Hi, everyone, and happy June. Happy summer almost, summer solstice, and hopefully more sunshine, more warmth. This is a great time of year. I think a lot of us have been waiting for a little bit more sunshine and a little bit more warmth, although it won't be long before we're reaching for iced tea and ice cream trying to cool off. So um, it's great to be back with you and spend a little bit of time in this monthly video blog, really trying hard to work with Mary to make sure that, number one, she's done a great job with the newsletter and really making it meaningful so that you're not getting a lot of emails all the time and getting email fatigue. I know that's a real thing. We want to sort of save some things up and some exciting things you may not have heard about in the newsletter. And then also in this little video blog, a little bit of time I get with you to share some things as well, both bring out highlights in the newsletter and maybe a few other things as well. So thanks for the time that you give us to do this with you. And so with that, I'm going to spotlight a couple of things in the newsletter I'd like you to be aware of. First of all, we're pretty excited in this last month that Safe Care's evaluation team worked with both the state and the CSU program as well to host a hall town meeting last month, and it was really offered for thousands of Safe Care families and really focusing on getting feedback from the parents and families about their experience with the Safe Care program. And so really what the evaluation team found was some great results and engagement from the families, and they're really excited about taking that information forward to improve the program implementation. So a great successful event. Additionally, I'd like to draw your attention to a link to an article that Lisa's team recently published about the voices of children and young people's experiences with processes with child welfare, such as family group conferencing. So this was published in the most recent edition of Child and Family Social Work Journal. And take some time to look at the article because it really focuses on some important results that came out of a 3-year federal project studying family group conferences in one jurisdiction. And it collected data from families and professionals that participated in these group conferences, and they included children's input. So I think this is a really important article in the beginning of a really important effort that is starting to look at what some other countries get a little bit better than we do in this country is how do you put the child and the youth's voice in the middle of these important decisions that child welfare is making. And so in addition to looking at the article, if you have interest in learning more about the efforts of Lisa and Anita and their group in this space about children's voice, I would encourage you to reach out to them and hear more about what they're doing. A couple other notes. The Colorado Behavioral Health Task Force was recently announced by Governor Polis. This is an initiative to develop a blueprint for Colorado around mental health needs, and a pretty ambitious agenda that the group of this task force is to have this blueprint out by the middle of 2020 and then actually begin implementing it. And there is a children's behavioral health subcommittee that was appointed as well, and I was fortunate enough to be appointed on that. So we'll be representing children's voice with the Kemp Center perspective and the work of all of you. So if you have interest in hearing more about that or making sure that we're getting the right information out to that task force, let me know. Additionally, the Colorado Sun published a really nice article about the CARE Network that was just passed. That's that House Bill 1133 that Dr. Chiesa and myself and John Fogg and the foundation worked really hard to get this legislation passed. So a nice article and a lot of work for all of us moving forward, but we're really excited about innovating in this really exciting way for Colorado and potentially for the region. Additionally, wanted to thank the Kemp Foundation, Julia and John, who attended Grand Rounds in June and presented about what the foundation is doing, some of the background, the history, how they support the work here at the Kemp Center, and really invite your voice as well into what they're trying to do to work towards advocating and creating resources for the prevention and treatment of child abuse and neglect. So if you missed the meeting, there's a link to the full video on in the newsletter. And as a reminder, please join us. The Kemp Foundation annual board meeting is on Tuesday, the 25th, and they've been kind enough to invite all of the center and apparently a guest, if you want to bring a guest, to attend the reception. Just please let Monica know if you'll be attending so she can make sure to include you in the count. So lots of other great events coming up in July and then the upcoming months. As a reminder, as we talked about, we really want to respect people's limited time, especially in the busyness of summertime. And so rather than the barbecue this year, because we'll be taking your time for all of for throughout the day on the 27th of September, we really wanted to still have some event where you could invite family and friends and we could all get to know each other outside of the workspace. And so thanks to Mary and the Kemp Connections Committee for helping us put together a night at the Rockies. So July 16th is the night that we'll be going to the Rockies game together. Rockies are playing the Giants at 6:40 that night. And they've been pretty hot this year, so it should be a fun evening. Watch out for information from Mary regarding ticketing, and let her know if you're interested in attending that and joining us for a night at the Rockies. Another really important activity this summer is, again, we're really fortunate here at the Kemp Center to host the Kemp Summer Research Institute. That'll be August 5th through the 9th. And again, we'll be hosting a number of leading experts for the week-long institute. Thanks to Des and Carol Runyon, John Fluke, and Dan Limberg, as well as the support of Mary in putting this together. One of the things that I want to highlight is, in addition to having guests on site that we want you to welcome openly, there are also going to be daily research seminars at the Kemp Education Center again this year. And so these are open to all Kemp staff. And as many of you that are able to attend would be very, very welcome. Some really great speakers and some really substantial experts throughout the country will be speaking at those. And so links and information regarding that is on the web, or is on the in the newsletter as well. So please check that out and join us for as many of those as you can. I mentioned a little bit ago, but the all staff retreat, September 27th, please save the date. We're still working on some of the logistics, but we promise that it's going to be a great day together to get some time outside of this building together as a team, working together, learning about each other, learning about how we can all work together and how we can innovate into the future together as we build a strategic plan as a team. So please mark that on your calendars, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. Registration is open for the Innovations in Family Engagement Conference, November 19th to the 22nd in San Diego. Might I add, sunny San Diego in November. So really kudos to Anita and Lisa and their team for all their hard work in pulling together this incredible conference, and really excited to announce that Jerry Milner with the Children's Bureau will be delivering a keynote. So lots of great work on that team. Thank you to those of you from the center who are participating in this conference, and hopefully if you're not participating, you can actually maybe attend. We'll make sure there's a nice report back to those of us who have to hold down the fort as well. So the last thing I wanted to do is, in addition to sort of making sure you do take a peek at the industry updates at the end of the newsletter, there's kind of a cool historical display that opened in the Dean's Office reception suite, and it features the work of someone by the name of Dr. Henry Silber. And so some of you might remember or might be aware of his name in relationship to the Battered Child Syndrome article that was published in 1962. He was a colleague of Dr. Kemp's, and he contributed to that publication. And some of his early work, not just as an endocrinologist, it did focus somewhat on child abuse and neglect. In the second phase, he really began to mark his legacy. And that was when he started to do some work regarding whether children were receiving adequate medical care. And this is really important, not just for our legacy, but as our future, as we work together with things such as the CARE Network and other things that we're doing to expand local capacity with program implementation, the child welfare training system, and other programs we work in. And what he did is, actually in 1967, he started the Pediatric Nurse Practitioner Program. He also started the Child Health Associate and Pediatric Program and the School Nurse Practitioner Program. And so really Dr. Silber and the University in Colorado became recognized nationally and internationally as leaders in allied healthcare field. And that's really important because I think we all continue to realize how it takes a village and how the professionals and the experts we have that we're working with are in multiple different disciplines. And it's also very interesting that in the latter part of his work, when he was the Associate Dean of Admissions for the medical school in Denver, he really shifted his work towards including more women and more minorities for applicant admissions, and really looking at applicants that were majoring in non-biology fields and including them as well. He also did some work in terms of medical student abuse, which was kind of a not talked about thing that happened. So it's really fascinating that this person who's a part of our history is also how we are starting to think about our future as we work as multiple disciplines and we have multiple different lenses, both from a diversity perspective, but also from what profession we come from as we work to in this field of prevention and treatment of child abuse and neglect. So I would really encourage you to take a peek at the article, maybe take a summer stroll over to the dean's office in Building 500 and check out the display, because this is part of our history, and it really, I think, is part of our innovation moving forward as well. So with that, thank you for your time listening to me, checking out the newsletter and the hard work that Mary put into that. This is really, as I said before, something that we want to make a meaningful part of your time to look into this. As you have things that come about that you want to share with everyone, get them to Mary. We'll make sure we get them included in the newsletter or in the blog or both, because this is really our ability to spend time together, communicate with one another about the great work that's happening here at the center, and something that we can be proud of in each other, in ourselves, and in the work that we're doing together moving forward. So as I've said before, I'm incredibly grateful and honored to be a part of such an amazing team. And thank you so much for all the work that you do every day on behalf of our most vulnerable children and families and the professionals that serve them. Have a great day. Have a great June, July, and we'll see you next month.